with Jay, who I met back in 2016. I was with my brother and we went to Thorpe Park, and I think that was the year that I was doing the Paralympic torch flame event with Stopgap Company, and randomly at Thorpe Park, not Thorpe Park, was it Thorpe Park? Yeah, it was, Thorpe Park, I bumped into Siobhan and her husband, who I think were also celebrating a birthday. I can't remember which one now, but yeah, they were also celebrating a birthday, which was really, really random. On our day off was, you know, my birthday, and we went, so I stayed in the hotel there, and so we won Jay as Jay is the guy that was running the stall, and you had to like get the basketballs in, you get a certain amount of in at the same time, then you win Jay. And he's huge, literally, he's behind me, and he's still taller than me. How mad? I mean, apart from the ting ting. Anyway, so I'm reviewing Ip Man 4. Okay, so if you're a fan of the films, if you know about Ip Man, if you know about Donnie Yen, if you know about Bruce Lee, you know the story, and you know about the fight scenes, then this is for you, literally. I love Kung Fu movies, and Kung Fu movies tend to have a reputation for just being about the fight scenes, and I would say that's kind of true for 2 and 3, because for the life of me I can't remember what they were about. But Ip Man 1 and Ip Man 4, so good. And I was watching it with someone and they said it wasn't as good as the first one, and I think in terms of the action scenes, they are really good, but I think what they possibly meant was that I think the intensity of it wasn't as sort of as racy, as, you know, hard-hitting, as emotional, which I disagree with, because actually this one, Ip Man 4, this is like 10 years in the making. It's been 4 films. Donnie Yen's played this sort of iconic character, and it brings to light, and he's okay, so I got interrupted by my drink water alarm, so that's the point. Anyway, yeah, so Donnie Yen is speaking English, and I was like, yes! It's so funny. There's a line in it where he goes to an American school, and he and he's like, I teach Kung Fu, Chinese martial arts, and the head teacher's like, is that like gymnastics? Anyway, the fight scenes, the emotional pull that I got from it, I was actually really, really emotional at the end of it because of what happens, or sort of the twists and stuff, and I was just very, very drawn and engaged. And obviously the martial arts scenes are top notch, and you know, the guy can still move. I don't know how old he is, but the guy can still move, and he's got his iconic signature move, which if you've seen the first Ip Man, then you'll know what I mean, the you know. So I suppose that's probably, is that all I'm gonna say about it? I suppose maybe, because I think it just has to be seen. And like I said, I suppose the emotional pull of it really got me, because I was just, it's also something that I kind of connected to a little on a personal level, and again, I don't want to give anything away, so I won't, but yeah, I'm trying to think what else I want to say about it. Yeah, the fight scenes, man, and then the references to different, and this is what I was going to say as well. I feel like now that Ip Man, the legacy, as in this series of films, has been 10 years in the making, perhaps, you know, I don't know who the brainchild of these films were, but I feel like Donnie Yen probably had some input, and I think I saw at the end he was executive producer, and given sort of the success of all the 3 films, he was able to put his input in, and I think he did a great job of sort of, this is the finale, there are no more Donnie and Ip Man. Donnie and Ip Man. But yeah, I think you can definitely see the progression and the growth of the character, of the story, and of the time as well, because obviously it happens over the course of however many years. And the racism, bruv, yo. And it's like, you know, when you first hear stuff, like when I was watching Black Klansman, or when you see stuff about the KKK, or when it's referenced, it's just like, okay, that's a bit much. But there's something quite authentic about the time and the stamp, and I think it has to be forgiven, because it's not forgiven, but it just needs to be understood that that was the time. And this was sort of the idea about Chinese people living in America, and it's just very well done. And for me, it was just very well thought out. It was very well executed. There's different characters and sort of like, not liaisons, but sort of just interactions with different characters, which make you think, oh, you know, and you're just a bit like, oh, wait. And it's kind of cool that it's very good. It's very, very good. And I think what, I suppose, not this film does, but I think it's, yeah, I mean, there's a tendency, I think for me, in the second Ip Man, there was something about Americans being quite loud and rude and, you know, incredibly racist, and a stereotypical version of what perhaps the view, or the sort of the perspective is from an Asian perspective looking at an American. And I think what Ip Man 4 did really well was balance the obvious racism, but obviously the clear, you know, time stamp of where they were in that time. And yeah, so I mean, it's crazy because karate and kung fu, Chinese versus Japanese, I think if you know about the history, I don't actually, but the only history I know is through the films. So Fist of Fury, Bruce Lee, where obviously the Japanese have taken over, and you know, his Sifu is killed, and there's allegations that it's a Japanese dojo that does it, this kind of stuff. And it's really interesting to see, you know, and sort of the Americans taken on the Japanese karate and being like, okay, this is ours now. And I suppose it's the whole Pearl Harbor takeover stuff, that, you know, that entitlement, that American entitlement over sort of defeating the Japanese and Pearl Harbor, and perhaps that's what I think anyway, that, you know, they were wanting to capitalize on owning something that wasn't theirs in the first place, but and then becoming experts in that field, and then thinking that they're better than everyone else. But I mean, I suppose that's what the film said. That's not what I think. Anyway, so yes, Ip Man 4. If you're a fan, if you're a kung fu fan, if you like the first film, if you haven't watched the first film, watch it. I'd say if you like action, then yes, this is definitely one. And it's also, it balances really well because of storyline, and it's based on sort of Master Shifu Ip, who trained Bruce Lee, and you see there's iterations and not iterations, there's references to Bruce throughout the legacy of these 4 films, but also, yeah, he makes an appearance basically in not he, but like the character Bruce Lee features in Ip Man 4, which is awesome. So that's it. I think I'm gonna leave it there because I might have to have like an Ip Man day. I think I don't know why. I'm gonna talk about this, and if for anybody who knows me, and probably like my best friends who sort of are around me or have been around me in the past, where whenever I'm struggling with something, or you know, I spasm and I'm like Ip Man 1, Ip Man 2, Ip Man 3, Ip Man 6, Ip Man 7, and I wish there would be, but no, unfortunately not. Ip Man 4 is the finale, and Ip Man, yes. Okay, that's all I have to say. Okay, bye. Oh, actually, if you like this video, do subscribe to YouTube. The link is here. Might be there. But yeah, so subscribe to LauraDReviews. The tag is @x it's all good, LDAX, and these reviews come under one playlist, so we'll play one after the other if I organise it that way. So yeah, so just these are films that I enjoy. I have been reviewing, and randomly I've just been watching in days I'm locked down, and when I manage to put them out, I will. And yeah, you can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Breaker. My podcast is on Breaker, Anchor, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Did I say that already? Anyway, yeah, so yeah, do follow, and if you have any films that you suggest or you like and you think I might like and I haven't seen, feel free to comment in any one of these videos, hit me up on the socials, and I shall do my best to review, or just my reactions. This isn't like this isn't a breakdown of play-by-play of the whole film. These are just my reactions to them, and these are usually suggestions to go watch them yourselves if you're interested. No obligation, I promise. But yeah. Okay, bye.